Morning everybody. I hope you're all well. Follow up on call for evidence for you. I've been through, I did them a while back really. I mean, it probably might have been a week back, but I finally got round to just summing it up in my head altogether. I filled forms in, which to be honest is what you all need to do. And when people, I've heard various things of filling it in half an hour, and that probably were a bit longer to be quite honest, because I probably put a few more points over than that you might do, so it were a bit longer than half an hour for me. But I think it'd be better if you put more things what you're trying to say. Now, going through it, I don't think classic people have got anything to worry about. I think it's just what I translate. I've spoken to you before. I mean, I've skipped through paperwork, but now I've been through paperwork. But I think the government's after bringing in some sort of red tape. That's top and bottom. I don't think they want us classic lads. I think they're more leaning onto your kit car lads. Now, I mean, I don't pay much attention to kit cars. I see them and I admire them and I like some of them. They look lovely. They're really nice things. Now, I don't 100% understand how plate comes or ID comes, because obviously you've got like a GT40. I mean, it's obviously a remade chassis. It's a remade body, and if it comes off engine's from America, so I can't see it having a British plate. It must just purely be a year. But I think that's where it's going. I think that's what they're after doing. Now, when I filled forms in, they were referring to changing a components, etc. Now, my comments on that were that, change for existing if you can, but you may not be available to. So I won't class that as needing to alter the car. I mean, if you put a different master cylinder on, because obviously the existing one isn't available, I know you have altered the car, but you haven't altered. You've made the car usable. You've saved the car. You've restored the car. I mean, I think if you're just restoring a car right, there's absolutely no issues whatsoever. But as I said on my previous video, if you're going to stick a different subframing, because they mention a lot of chassis work, they do mention quite a lot of that in the listings and that. And I mean, you've got various paragraphs. I mean, like I've just said earlier, fill the form in, take as much time in your beliefs, because the more forms go in, the more they have to read through, the more you like putting things over. They're not killing cars off. They're not after that. I mean, top and bottom, as I've said, it's red tape. So red tape generates money for it, or generates money for somebody. So, and as I've just said, your kit car lads, I think, are the one who are going to be struggling. I also think your lads who build these one-off retro things, I think they might be struggling as well, because I can see where they're going and I can see what they're up to. So, but completely modified, obviously. They want it nailed down. They want some sort of tag onto it that they're going to get some revenue off, and they know it's an easy way for them to do it. To be quite honest, I mean, a straightforward normal car like this, I don't see as anybody's got the knowledge to criticise you. I've also put in my notes that it's not just about clubs here set regarding cars, because a lot of the clubs, I'm not pulling them to pieces, but a lot of the clubs don't know everything about every model. I've been to shows, I've asked questions, people have scratched their head. There's a lot of people with a lot of knowledge regarding these old cars that are they're at side. They're not at front line. So I've also said that information from people like that should be taken into consideration when they're IDing a year. I mean, they're trying to more or less say if your VIN's missing, they want it on a Q plate. They said that in various occasions, but that's nonsense, because I can ID a car. I can tell you its starters. I can tell you all sorts of numbers with what year they are and where they belong and what plate they should be on. And I mean, and I've taken them on at DVLA. I mean, as effort, it took me 18 months to get a registration for it, but I had it back down and I got it in end. But like I've said to you, don't panic. You classic lads aren't going to panic. You're not going to end up on a queue. I mean, they mentioned something about should we remove the plates, and obviously, just your answer's no. Simple as no. Why? What will it achieve? You know, they don't need to be on their own ID. And then they're on about splitting cars, vans, motorcycles up into. Answer's no. Well, my answer's no, because it's never been like that, so it don't need to be like that. They're just creating something to fill forms in, because all people do now is fill forms in. It's worth doing it, and it's worth sending it in. But the point I'm saying to you is really, I think this is more based at your kit car lads. I don't know how they get the plates on them, I don't know how they work it out, and also, if they're on a queue, I mean, like I've said, it should be, once it becomes its historic age, that's it. I mean, my recommend is to alter age to 30 years, not 40. I mean, I think 25 will probably be a little bit on the new side, but that's my opinion. You might have a different opinion, so that's your, put it down on paper. But I put over my case, and obviously, I mean, and if I have to lobby anybody or talk to one of the local MPs, but they'll not be interested in all like this. They'll not be interested in it at all. They're not bothered. You know, this is just somehow this has come to light. I mean, I think they should have some sort of safety checks on these cars, and I think these cars can be randomly called for a safety check. That's my honest opinion, because they're running around on roads and people are about it surrounding you. You know, there's pedestrians, cyclists, other cars, there's everything on road. And if something's not right, not 100% right, and somebody gets hurt, well, it's not a good thing. So I think we do need to tighten up on that, and I mean, everybody needs to like polish up on the maintenance. I mean, I'm not saying you've all got bad cars, but I have seen a lot of bad cars out there that have just been slung on the road. I mean, I think pandemic flushed a few of them out, but that's all I've got to say. So give us a like. I mean, subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more about this. I mean, this is, like I said, just a follow up to Call for Evidence, and pass a comment and I'll come back to you. But I don't have you about to worry about, and I hope you can just carry on using your classics. I mean, it's more about community. That's what the classics about, community. I mean, they're going to change some things, but I think it's modification, serious modification. I think they'll work on a percentage. I think you'll get away if you stick a rack on, I would say. I'd say you get up. Well, I can't see as a master cylinder as a change. It's just, if that part isn't available, you've got to help put something else on. And that's just how I've written it down. So take care, everybody, and that's just a bit of a follow-up. Probably gone on at the same ground, but I've got just a little bit more information for you. So catch you all later, and bye for now.